In the beautiful, green highlands of Kenya, a boy named Ngugi loved listening to the elders tell stories around the evening fire. He loved the sounds of his native language, Gikuyu. As he grew up, Ngugi became a brilliant writer. He wrote books and plays about his people's history and the brave fight for freedom. But one day, he realized something important. Most of his books were written in English, the language of the people who used to rule Kenya. Ngugi believed that true freedom meant being proud of who you are and the language you speak. He made a brave choice to stop writing in English and began writing only in Gikuyu. Some leaders didn't like this and sent him to prison, but Ngugi kept writing his beautiful stories on toilet paper. He showed the world that every language is a magical treasure chest of history and culture, and we should always be proud of our own voice.
On the sun-kissed Caribbean island of Guadeloupe, Maurice Condé grew up surrounded by the sounds of the ocean and the stories of her ancestors. Even as a little girl, Maurice loved to read books and imagine far-off places. When she grew older, she decided to explore the world herself. She traveled across the ocean, living in France, West Africa, and America. Maurice realized that there were so many incredible stories about African and Caribbean history that had never been told. She became an amazing novelist, writing powerful books about brave kings, strong women, and the magical connection between Africa and the Caribbean islands. Her stories won many prestigious awards and taught people all over the world about the rich, vibrant cultures of her people. Maurice Condé proved that a great storyteller can bring the past to life and connect hearts across the entire globe.
In the vibrant island of Martinique, young Aimé Césaire loved words. He realized early on that the schools he attended only taught the history of Europe, ignoring the incredible history of his own African ancestors. This made Aimé very sad, but mostly, it made him determined. He traveled to Paris to study, where he met other brilliant students from Africa and the Caribbean. Together, they created a powerful movement called Negritude. Aimé wrote beautiful, thunderous poems that roared like a lion. His poems declared that black people should be incredibly proud of their skin, their culture, and their history. He returned to Martinique and became a great leader and politician, always fighting to make sure his people were treated with respect and equality. Aimé Césaire taught the world that the most beautiful poem you can write is the one that celebrates exactly who you are.
In a peaceful village in Senegal, a boy named Léopold Sédar Senghor grew up listening to the rhythm of the drums and the songs of the storytellers. He loved the beauty of nature and the power of language. Léopold was a brilliant student who traveled to France, where he met other great thinkers like Aimé Césaire. Together, they celebrated the beauty of African culture. Léopold became a world-famous poet. He wrote verses about the golden sun of Africa, the strength of its people, and the magic of its traditions. But Léopold didn't just want to write poems, he wanted to help his country. When Senegal became a free, independent nation, the people loved Léopold's wisdom so much that they chose him to be their very first president. He was a unique leader who believed that art, poetry, and culture were just as important as building roads and hospitals. Léopold Sédar Senghor showed the world that a poet's heart can lead a nation. In a small town in Nigeria, Albert Chinyuelumogu Achebe, who everyone called Chinua, loved to listen to the traditional Igbo stories told by the elders. But when Chinua went to school and read books written by people from other countries, he noticed something terrible. The books always made Africans look foolish and weak. Chinua knew this wasn't true. He knew his people were brave, intelligent, and had a rich, beautiful culture. Chinua decided to change the world by writing his own book. He wrote a masterpiece called Things Fall Apart. It was a story about a strong African warrior and the real history of his village. The book was so incredibly honest and beautifully written that millions of people all over the world read it. For the first time, people everywhere understood the true heart of Africa from an African point of view. Chinua Achebe is celebrated as the father of modern African literature, proving that if you want the world to know the truth, you must be brave enough to tell your own story.